The first one that I'll start with today is NIDA, and that is the stapled copy. It says North Idaho on the top of it there. We have now with NIDA, we have actually 14 members, which has considerably grown over the last 2 years. We now have 10 chambers within North Idaho, plus 4 nonprofit organizations that are members of NIDA, which is great. We unfortunately had one chamber drop recently, and that is because it closed its doors, and that was Priest River. So that was unfortunate, although I'm hoping that they get their chamber back together, hopefully, and will begin attending meetings. They've been struggling for a while. This year's current grant is right around $77,000. That's the one we're working on now. But I wanted to let you know that of that $77,000, over $28,000 of that is earmarked for basically the good of all, where we advertise out in, like, for example, FYI magazine. I think Amy mentioned that, Majestic, North Idaho. And what we do is we work at driving people back to that NIDA website. Part of that $28,000 also represents part of the website maintenance as well. The other thing that I wanted to just talk about a little bit was our online brochure. I brought that up last year as well. And that has been tremendously successful and a tremendous savings for ITC grant funds. Before, we were spending anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000 on brochures for all these small communities. We only put $4,500 in the grant this year, and that's all we're putting in the grant next year. And just to remind you what that is we created this online brochure that is in also print-ready formatting. So on the website, they're all listed on the website, so anybody can go in and download that brochure. But then as these small organizations and members need brochures, they can print them 50 to 100 at a time. We have it in a format that we are able to professionally print them, so they only have to print 100 or 200 at a time. And what that has done is prevented 5,000 and 10,000 brochures sitting in basements for year after year after year. So just that has been very successful, and we are moving forward this year as well. We also update, the other thing with that is we update that brochure 3 times a year on a regular schedule, so that we meet all the changes in seasons and events, and so they're able to post exactly what they would like in that. We don't change the format so much because that's more time consuming, but they certainly are able to keep their information updated. So that has been very, very successful. One of the other things that we have taken advantage of, and I just heard Amy mention it, was Explorer TV. This has been a really great product for NIDA as well. These smaller communities have been able to get on TV, and what it is KXLY TV, which covers western Montana, North Idaho, and eastern and central Washington, and up into Canada. So it airs on KXLY once a month or twice a month, depending on the season and how much airtime they need. But it is showing on a cable channel every single day. It is a half-hour production. It's we usually get a 5 to 10 minute segment, and it is supplemented generally by co-op advertising of local businesses, whatever that segment is on. We've had quite a few NIDA partners be able to take advantage of that. And that has been really well received, not only by the NIDA partners, but by the public as well. They feel that they have people coming in and making contact with them because of the Explorer TV segments. Let's see, this year, going forward with the current year, we have a couple of interesting request from NIDA members, and they're really beginning to think outside the box, where they come to the meetings regularly, and they're really starting to get what the grant is all about. It's a constant educational opportunity, I'll say, for us, because oftentimes these people are changing staff. There's so many volunteers, and but we're getting a few people there regularly now. They're starting to get what the grant is all about. And some of the requests that we will be asking for is that we have Silver Valley and the Wallace Chambers and the International Selkirk Loop actually create brochures aside from ITC grant funds, but they would like to be able to distribute those outside of their area. So they will be asking for requests for distribution costs. for their own brochures. You know, the NIDA members are beginning to see tourism as a viable economic stimulus, and they, as I mentioned, they are really getting on board with this. One of the areas that they feel that they really need help in their communities is with their websites. And I know that there has been considerable discussion about supporting chamber websites. But so many of these chambers now are seeing, as they recognize that tourism is a tremendous part of their community and is an opportunity for them to promote an economic stimulus, if you will. They see that tourism and their websites follow hand in hand. They feel very, very strongly that they need help with this in order to keep bringing tourists to their cities. And so we are presenting some considerable increase in the community website element. And just to verify too, the NIDA website does not go away. They see that as a common link to then their websites, where in turn it gets people, even though the online brochure is on there and they get information through in that way, by directing them also to their individual website and the information on their own website, they feel that that's important to bring tourists into the area. Additional funds are also being requested for DVD. Silver Valley has requested that they would like to create a video to be used in fulfillment. I know that most people have gone away from that video, but they see that as a very viable piece for them in their fulfillment, and they would like to go forward with that. And I keep bringing up the Silver Valley. They are very, very active in their promotions. They would like to also bring a fam trip to the Silver Valley. They feel that they do have some facilities there through Silver Mountain, and there's a number of hotels there. Like Amy mentioned, it's some of the smaller groups, but they would like to put together a fam trip from eastern Washington, eastern and central Washington, maybe western Montana, for small groups and businesses that would be willing to come to the area and visit. Another area of significant increase for the NIDA grant is in the trade shows. NIDA participated in the Seattle trade show this year, and we received a number of requests through the state, but we also, the gal that went there that represented NIDA, found that it was wonderful to have that one-on-one contact with people. And the entire group has done some trade shows in the past, but they would like to expand that to get out beyond just the Spokane market and into the Seattle and potentially Portland market. With the International Selkirk Loop within who is a member of NIDA, they have some great products, a cycling product, and they are putting together a new brochure as well, and they would like to roll that out at a couple of these trade shows, and including the Seattle Cycling, I think it's a trade show over there. So that is part of that request. And then last but not least for NIDA is the scenic drives. We have supported the scenic drive, the traditional ITD scenic drives brochure. This year with the new top 10 scenic drives of the Northern Rockies, they are asking for an additional $5,000 within that element to help support the top 10 scenic drives. And I don't know if any of you are familiar with that, but it's a great product. I was involved with the RFPs and the proposals, also the branding. I've seen the branding, which we will see here during this week. And it's pretty exciting. Now the Selkirk Loop is our scenic drive within North Idaho, but they also look to our area as a gateway to then the other scenic drives, the other 9 scenic drives. So they would like to support that as well. So that's all I have on the NIDA grant. I did not go through it element by element, but would certainly take any input that you might have.
Thank you.